the channel for games, guides, and glitches. If you're a developer or publisher, feel free to contact me at the email, and to my regular viewers, please remember to subscribe, it really helps me out. Sunfall here with a guide for Pacify. This time it's the Woods on single player, and we have to beat the dev in 20 minutes. The Woods, I don't have any glitches to help us, but I do have a solid strategy. The Woods is probably one of the harder ones because we cannot store the items.
We've arrived. A witch lives here. Weaken her and bring her back. Be careful. You are not the first team to attempt this. The others didn't make it out alive. Now go investigate the area.
So the first thing we want to do is go to this house, and on the first floor you have to check the area. On the first floor, the gate key is what you want to find, and on the second floor is the house key. So the first thing I like to do is go down here. The house key sometimes can appear here, but I mainly want the witch hair because it's out of the way, so it saves us some time. The key can also appear there, and sometimes on the toilets, and in the toilets over here, which it does for me, and then down the hallway there's another room down this hallway, and in that room. But once you've gotten the keys, you want to head downstairs, and we can leave out this door here, which is the kitchen. I'm going to show you this early, but don't do this in your run. So I'm going to open the gate, even though I don't have the item I need, just to show you the puppies. And if you click on them, it'll say that you need something else, and that is over here. So you want to grab this before you open the gate, which is the shears. And when you have the shears, you want to cut a puppy's tail off like so, and collect a rose. I hate the sound of the puppy having its tail off, and I really hate that we have to cut its tail off. But that's all we have to do, unfortunately. So then what we also have to do is go into the cemetery here, which is where we will get some twig men. Now they can be difficult to find, and I recommend keeping the ones that are close by for the last dolls, because we will actually be taking the witch on in her super form, and it is deadly. So once you grab at one of the doll twigs, a shadow will appear, and that shadow will chase you until you put the ingredients into the witch's brew. Now the house key is needed to open this door here, and down here is the witch's lair, as you can hear. And this is where we brew our potion, this thing right here. We are actually vulnerable while we're doing this. Once the enchanted twig appears, we put it on a spike like so, and we have to do this 8 times now because we've done it 1 time already, but all total 9 times. So my recommendation is for the first 5 you want to put them on normally. After that, I'm going to show you a little strategy that I use that won't guarantee you get it, but it'll improve your odds that one of your runs works in your favor. Collect the witch's hair from the kitchen, like so. It's an out of the way hair that we want to get on the second one, and then again go into the graveyard. I like to stick to the right side at the beginning because I'm closer to everything and I can gauge where the dolls are. As you can see, I'm trying to find all the ones that are not close by, like that one there was close by, so that one will be saved for the last one. If the tree men get you, they will steal the twig doll and put it back, and they will knock you down. If the witch gets you, she will take the rose protects you, but if she's in her super form, or even down to like, I think about the 4th or 3rd doll, she will not only take your rose, but within 10 seconds could attack you again, ending your run. So it is very tricky. I will also mention I have a blooper at the end. The blooper is just me getting out of the map. I just wanted to show it because I found a way outside the map, and also I tried it in multiplayer and I did something pretty, well, I thought it was pretty funny. The out of the map unfortunately didn't contain anything useful. I tried. The best thing to do is always go down to this area here. As you can see, I keep running out this door where the big large mirror is and getting the puppy's tails from there. Generally, the puppies will be around that area. It's not always guaranteed though. You want to go upstairs from now for a little bit and get the hairs that are upstairs. There's 2 on the desk there, there's 1 on the right on the dresser, and there's 2 in a bathtub. Now that we've gotten most of the dolls on the right, I'm heading to the left, trying to get the ones that are, as you can see, we have 7 dolls left. I am trying to get the dolls that are not in good positions, because the last thing we want to do at the end is be caught by the witch. Unlike the others, as I said, we cannot hoard items. We need all 3 items to make the doll, and cannot drop the doll once we've made it. So that is our 3rd one. That shadowy figure that you keep seeing is the tree figure I told you about that comes to take it if you're not fast enough to put it in. The reason I go for this method of getting the puppy tail first is that they move around. So they're not always in a set location. Even though they do generally sit around there, it doesn't necessarily mean I don't have to head left or right to get them. The hair is pretty much just down to memorization. It'll stay in the spots shown. And as for the twigs, they are RNG. They do move around a lot, so you might get unlucky and have some that, for example, are like so, really far in the distance. Just be careful not to get caught on things. It can happen. As you can see, there's another close doll, so I'm keeping that one for when we're down to the wire of the 1st and 2nd. See, she's getting angrier and faster each time you do it. This makes her deadlier, but this is also why I'm doing this many without any extra help. As you can see, I had to head slightly left there. Like I said, the puppies do move, and so they might not be too close to you, and you might have to chase a couple. But as you can see, the witch is getting more and more intense and ready to attack. The doors can close, by the way, and reopen, but we've got the key so we can unlock them. I figure I'll mention that now. So again, I'm looking in the distance for any of the twigmen, which I just found one. The witch can attack you while you're doing all this, by the way. She will come outside of the house, especially as she gets weaker and weaker. As you can see right here, she just took my rose. That's why I said you are vulnerable while you're doing this spell, unfortunately. So now we've done 5, this is where I recommend we start to use potions. So the potions right here are speed potions. I recommend using these first and saving the other potion for when we get even lower. The speed potion won't last long, but you should be able to get a puppy's tail and the witch's hair pretty quickly. Especially if you get lucky it can be a little tricky going faster to get a puppy's tail. I almost forgot to get a rose. So do remember also to pick up a rose if she takes your rose. That's something you don't want to forget. In the bathtub here is some witch's hair, as you can see. As you can see, she will chase you now that she's stronger. Or I should say weaker, really, because we've been doing that. Thankfully for me, the rose was near a twig statue that's pretty close, far away-ish. One I wouldn't save, really, because of the position it's in. So I can head downstairs and I can build that. I recommend making sure you have a rose before you go downstairs, though, as she can just take you while you're waiting for the potion. I move around because I find that she doesn't hunt you as much if you're moving. So again, we want to aim another speed potion. This will give us a chance to also get a rose. And then a puppy's tail. As you can see, like I said, they generally will be in this location, but they move left and right, so sometimes you will have to go to the left and right to get them. So this is where we get the hair that we've been saving. So there's one on this table here. The reason we've been saving this hair is now that she's stronger, we want to be as quick as possible. If you hear her like that, try and run away, like so. If you go around the house, you might lose her, but there's some weird thing, and I don't know why. She shouldn't have been able to take a rose because, as you can see here, she wasn't close. But if she locks in on you, for some reason the game just allows her to take it. So this means we have to find another rose. If you go up to this section here, sometimes there can be roses on trees. I'm taking a twig man and hoping I can find a rose on my way. In that graveyard at the end, sometimes there's no twigman and there sometimes is. I'm going to risk going downstairs without a rose because I do have a little trick or strategy that will help us, but it relies on her. So take one of these potions. They're clear potions, so they make you invisible to her. And the reason I've taken it now is that we are not vulnerable while we're doing this. So this gives us time to put the twigman up on the spike. The potion will run out though before we get back down here, so we will need a rose. But this is the strategy. You want to take it as you're going to the location. So another hair is on this table. This is the closer table. And we want to get a puppy's tail and a rose from this location. Generally they're on the left or right. I got one that was up here, so that was lucky. And then we want to head around the house. Don't want to head inside the house. Since we have the witch's hair and the puppy's tail, we want to stay outside as much as possible. So we want to grab the twigman that's close by, because we're getting down to the last couple, and these were the ones we saved. So right here you want to take another clear potion. Like I said, this was pre-planned so that way you could do the brewing while you're close to her Angra form without having to worry. So now she's gonna be at her most lethal because this is her final form, and she will take roses very quickly from you. So you want to try and be as fast as possible. I got very lucky with the dog that was close by, finally. Every other time they've been far away on me. And right here, we've been saving this hair because we can just walk in and grab it. Now that we're normal, we want to run downstairs because of how strong and powerful she is, and quickly grab the clear potion, because this will give us enough time to get the twig man and go back down to the potion, as long as the twig man is close by like I kept telling you to do. Because as you can see, she took my roses immediately once the potion wore off. So grab the twig man. As you can see, mine was super close, so I got super lucky on the RNG of that. That's why I said this is a strategy more than anything, because the RNG of the twig man can sometimes not go in your favor. So right here is the last twig man. And see right here, I was panicking even though I played the card. I know that sound means she's done for. I still panicked a little bit because it said 1. And so I was grabbing a speed potion to try and fix myself up, thinking I had missed one somehow.
I am waiting for you to bring the witch to the van.
It's good though, because I can show you that roses are on the left and right as well, even if I was done. But now that he told me he was waiting for me to bring her to the van, I can head back because I know she's beaten. It just took a while for it to turn to 0, which terrified me because I didn't want to fail after getting down to 1. So we can pick her up. She will always usually land here. It's very rare cases where she's in other areas, but there is cases where she's been outside the house, up the top of the floors and the bottom lower level of the house, possibly in the other areas, but mostly from when I've done it, she's been in that area. But do be aware, she can sometimes be in other locations. But once you grab her, you can take her to the van, and that is our 20-minute speedrun done. Congratulations.
Nice. You captured the witch. Let's go. There she is. She has to be one of the strongest entities we've ever captured. We've prepared several dolls and keep her weakened. We are going to need a few more people to keep the headquarters secure. We will contact you when we need you.
Bloopers. So the first thing I want to show you is this is a new game. As you can see.
Bring her back. Be careful. You are not the first team to
And straight off the bat, we can get out the map. You just have to walk over here and walk through this part. It can take a little wiggling, but once you get through, you just have to continue walking, and there we go, we're out of the map. There's a few cool things you can do outside the map. There isn't much, and it's actually more fun to play as the mouse that she turns you into when you're in co-op, which I will show something funny that I discovered while playing as the mouse outside the map. But first I want to show you a couple of cool things I found. So the first thing, this isn't the right way. There we go. If we go through here, and like I said, it takes a little wiggling, we can see the other side of the van, and it is a solid van. There is no hollow part to the other side. I did wonder that, because some devs do that. They give you half a van and the other side you can't see. And then if we go down this way, following this fence here. As you can see, the forest is all around. Just down here is a mouse. And it has a flashlight. I could not get the mouse to move as a person, but I got a little thing I want to show you later. The edge of the map is right here. If you fall down, you don't respawn back up or anything, you just keep falling, and you can see the underside of the map. But if you go up to this end here, it'll deload the forest, and you can see the map deloaded, which is really cool. So I'll let you take that in for a few seconds. So as the mouse, as you can see, I'm another mouse because this is during a co-op game. I got by the witch deliberately, and I can move the mouse, which I thought was quite funny. What I'm attempting to do, and I do successfully do it, which I thought was just funny. It doesn't give you any result or anything. I knocked the mouse off the map. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe.